Welcome and thank you for watching Little Bighorn Treasure Hunting Sources 46. We're going to talk about Reno's disastrous crossing ordered by George Armstrong Custer. Custer split his forces before he even knew the size of the enemy into two battalions. He led one while Reno led the other. Company A, G, and M, with Ben Teen also in his battalion, but he was ordered by Custer to search south with Company H, which was his company, along with Company D and K. All the Arikara scouts were ordered to go with Reno after they were afraid to advance to the village after reading the Togia symbols on old She-Bear's burial lodge, where he had died from wounds incurred at the Rosebud battle 8 days earlier. He had been shot through both hips and was quite painful. Custer ordered the Arikara scouts to go with Reno and steal the Sioux and Cheyenne horses so they could not escape. Surprise, surprise when they got there. And here's the story of two Colts single-action revolvers that were there. One, a scout gun that is on the list of 115 that was special ordered. The other is a Colt that was issued to Andrew Connor, Company A, 7th Cavalry, who was with Reno when they crossed. And there's two battle marks on that, the grip of that pistol. Both Custer's fall and documenting the weapons used at the Little Bighorn have great stories about the Reno disaster. So we're going to start with the first one here. And you can see the Togia quite clear on it. And if you see here and you come over here, here's the same marks as well as these marks. The history of this is the serial number's 9355, and it's 1873 Colt single action 45 caliber revolver. I found the name Bull in Water written in Togia on the left grip. Also on this grip is the mark of the Darochpa, a secret society of the Arikara, of which Bull in the Water was a leader. On the bottom of the back strap is the Togia word for Arikara, as shown on illustration 1. Bull in the Water enlisted with the 7th Cavalry Unit on May 9th, 1876. He rode with Custer at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. The following is a story of the day told by fellow Arikara scout Red Bear from the Arikara narrative. When we marched, Custer ordered two groups of scouts to go ahead, one on the right, one on the left. Soldier and I, Red Bear, led one group. Bobtail Bull led the other. Custer ordered us to take the Dakota horses from their camp. We rode ahead and we stopped at a lone teepee. We were looking around when Custer caught up with us, and he was disturbed with us. He said, "You were supposed to go right on to the Sioux village. I told you to dash on and stop for nothing. You have disobeyed me. Move to one side and let the soldiers pass you in the charge. If any man of you is not brave, I will take away his weapons and make a woman of him." Red Bear said the scouts told Custer they were ready for battle, and they watched as Custer turned off to the right with his men. Red Bear said, "The scouts that crossed the river with Custer were I, Red Bear, with Young Hawk, Goose, Black Fox, Red Star, Strikes Two, Bloody Knife, Little Sioux, Bobtail Bull, Forked Horn, Red Foolish Bear, Boy Chief, Little Brave, and One Feather. We rode hard, charging down the Little Bighorn, and when we got across, we separated. 6 scouts turned to the right after the Dakota horses that were by the timber. Boy Chief and Red Star were ahead and followed by Strikes Two, Black Fox, Little Sioux, and One Feather. Bloody Knife led the others straight at the Dakota camp. This group was Young Hawk, Goose, Forked Horn, Little Brave, myself, Red Bear, Bobtail Bull, and the 2 Crow scouts. We rode to the Dakota camp and they shot at us. The soldiers caught up with us, then the Dakotas charged. We rode to the river. I shot one Dakota with my revolver and then crossed the river. I could not find anyone. Then I came to Bull in the Water, Strikes Two, Red Star, Boy Chief, One Feather, Soldier, Stab, Strikes the Lodge, and Little Sioux. After a while, the other scouts came with a herd of captured Dakota horses, about 40. Charging Bull, Red Wolf, and White Eagle led the horses. It was decided that we should do what Custer wanted, to take the horses and fall back to the Powder River where the rest of the scouts should be. Bull in the Water, Charging Bull, Red Wolf, White Eagle, Red Star, Pretty Face, myself, Red Bear, One Feather, and the Dakota Scout, Pate, started back with the horses, with Bull in the Water and Red Wolf in the lead. So that's the history on that, and it's just a nice single action revolver. Seems pretty untouched and honest. Next we have another one, and Wendell thinks this may have been a burial gun. It's been cleaned pretty heavily on a lot of pieces, but the grips are still intact, and there's still, you know, all the inspector marks. And if you look here, there's 2 battle marks right there. And here's the history on this. It's a Colt 1873, serial number 5551. And it's U.S. marked revolver. I discovered the name Little Bear and Biting Bear written in togi on the right grip, along with the Oglala mark in English letters AC and A Company, as shown on illustration 1. I found the names Little Bear, Biting Bear, Oglala written on the left grip. The bottom of the left grip, I believe the English letters on the grip are the initials of Andrew Connor, A Company. Little Bear was born in 1834. He married Medicine in 1863, and they had one son, Biting Bear, in 1863, and one daughter, Give Money Away, in 1885. The family lived in the Wounded Knee district. According to Biting Bear's descendants, Little Bear rode with Crazy Horse throughout the Indian Wars. At the Little Bighorn, Little Bear followed Crazy Horse out of the Oglala camp and rode to the Cedar Coulee Ford. They crossed the river and rode down the east side of the Little Bighorn River. As they approached the Buffalo Crossing, many soldiers were trying to cross the river. Crazy Horse rode along, killing the soldiers with his war axe. Little Bear rode into a group of soldiers coming down the river and counted coup by pulling a revolver from one of them. At a later time, the revolver was passed on to Biting Bear. After the Wounded Knee Massacre, 26 Brule and Oglala Ghost Dance leaders were in prison. And of the 13 Oglala men, including Kicking Bear, Coming Grunt, Breaks into Revenge, His Horse Voice, Standing Bear, Brave, Take the Shield Away, Hard to Hit, One Star, Bring a White Horse, White Bear, and Biting Bear. There was one Oglala woman, Medicine Horse, in this group. Before his imprisonment, I believe Biting Bear left the revolver with his mother, Medicine. I believe this revolver was issued to Private Andrew Connor, Company A, 7th Cavalry. He marked the revolver as required by George A. Custer. And a little history on Andrew Connor. He was a private, and he was from Limerick, Ireland. He was born in 1842. And he died in government hospice for the insane, Washington, D.C., May 14th, 1911. He was Company A private, blue eyes, gray hair, florid complexion, 5'4" 3/4 inches, enlisted November 8th, 1872. And he was one of the 5 who volunteered to go on picket duty with Corporal Roy the night of June 25th, which was the night, of course, that they had gone through the whole battle at the Little Bighorn. So he stood his watch, that's for sure. And real quick, I want to show you a few things on these Ainsworth guns. You're going to want to look for inspector marks. If you can look under here, there's a P and an A, and then a serial number under the retaining pin. And the screws pulled out. And if you look here, there's another A, an Ainsworth A. You're going to want to see those. Whoever cleaned this, thank God they didn't do it too bad. It's upside down to you, but here's the serial number. Should be present also on the cylinder. And if you look, you see the A right there also? There's your Ainsworth A. So you'll see that there, and then once again, look right back here. There's a little A right here. And on the cylinder, there's a P also. So there's an A and a P, and an A and a P here, and that's because they were proof fired. Now this gun, because it was burial, this has been replaced. I think some of the screws may have been replaced and the spring under here, but it's, you know, everything else is great. You see the serial number here also. So anyway, it's one that definitely was there and fought. Oh, also I did want to show you how a lot of times the Indians will try and scrub or do scrub the US off. That's real important that they have a US. Here's the other US on this Scout gun. And this is the one, remember we did this in an earlier video. It has the US upside down, but it's the correct US. So anyway, I hope you learned something and enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. God bless.